Blood. You can get it before your BKB. You can go like Blink, Shard into BKB. And if you're mid and you're getting a lot of farm, sometimes you can go BKB Shard and have that like around 16 to 18 minutes in. So DK loving this new patch. Yep. JaCkkY, Tino, you know, showing their respects. Of course, Tino, the carry player for Boom last season. They obviously know him well. It's good to see, you know. Obviously, for Tino, bummer he's not on Boom. I'm sure he'd love to still be on Boom right now.
30 seconds to battle.
But it's always hard when you have those roster changes, and it's good to see there's meanness between the teams. Same time, I'm sure Tino, if there's one series Tino wants to show up for, it's this one. This dude is... He's had an up and down tour. Like, he's adjusting to playing the offlane. Like, he's traditionally been a carry player, even if he wanted to switch to offlane in the past. He's had some great games, and then he's had some iffy games. So I hope we see Tino show up and really take it to Boom.
Running some calculations.
มีหนังแดงเราจะกินหนังส้วงมีหนังส้วงเราจะกินหนังแดง
Yeah, I think that is a bit of a worry. I think last time Tino played DKX went Hood as well before Blink, and it really slowed down his timing, so I don't want to see any kind of Hood to deal with the magic damage from Gyro and Snapfire as much as it feels nice. I think ultimately these heroes will kill you if they won't throw enough spells, Hood or no Hood, so I hope he tries to rush that Blink, because yeah, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on him. With the Enchantress, I'm hoping that's enough to kind of secure his lane, because yeah, otherwise things can start to look rough for Tino. That changes, but I imagine, yeah, Skem's just going to keep locking that camp. You know, 1 minute mark, no big camp for you. There's still the small camp, but just the kobold spawning there, so not the best creep in the small camp either for Shanks. Does seem like he's gluing himself to the lane, throwing out those impetus for now. Itai? Is that the plural of impetus? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't Google it, viewers. Don't do it to yourselves. Vincenzo in problem, yeah. Yep. Did get the 2-hero Inkswell stun, but it came right after he went down. Classic Shaman. Seeing Shaman secure kills with Aether Shock is just, I feel like that's such an iconic Shaman play.
Nope.
Yopaj styling with some last hits mid, gets the deny, secures his own last hit. He's currently winning this mid lane. His mid Snapfire, the mechanics is what always stands out when I watch him play this mid snap, and he uses this early level 6. It just feels like to get kills every time his ultimate's up, he's using it somewhere on the map. So, you know, he'll win his lane and then just put his team into this great position with this fast boots of travel and this kind of global threat of Mortal Mysticity.
For my coffers.
Dire structures are fortified.
Bob. Yeah, he's really fighting this one out, but there's a Fairy Fire on Yopaj. He's kind of baiting there. Like, Bob has a Mango and could Dragon Slave, but Yopaj is ready for it. Winning the regen battle for now.
Micro. No, you don't.
The issue is, like, they're both getting, like, losing a lot of health, but Yopaj is, his spells are just chewing up less mana. So he's still got spells to use, whereas Bob, not just out of health, but also out of mana. So he can't continue to trade with this Snapfire right. Lane's about to get pretty one-sided if Bob doesn't get a rune. Tims is going for this top rune, and it looks like they're trying to get double rune here. Bob doesn't, and I think Yopaj makes a call here. This is like probably some really good communication from Boom, where Yopaj is like, I'm about to really crush my lane if Bob doesn't get a rune. He comes in, steals the small camp as well, and at this point, this lane is. Not sure what your options are, but you're just going to try to get a couple more last hits, maybe nuke out the wave, and then have to potentially walk back to base. The other option, you rotate in an inch. These skeletons are just going to be food for a Snapfire. Yopaj is like, sweet, I'll come kill these. He's got raindrops now, so he's pretty hard to gank or kill. That's gonna block a lot of his leaves up. But then yeah, Bob's making the, you know, that walk of shame back to base, where it's like, well, that's just my mid lane. You know, I got to go back to base and TP, and it's the right call. He's gonna be level 5 when Snapfire is level 6, so you know there is that kill threat that he's going to be very wary of. But I think setting himself up to be in the best position, since his supports were too busy to secure room for him. Like ultimately, it just comes down to what Boom prioritized.
Nope.
No. Yep. So it's always one of these offlanes. Once you get level 4 or 5, sometimes even just level 3 with a second in reactive armor, Timber wants the soul. So Tim's making these moves is great. Again, he's looking to secure runes, and not even secure runes, he's looking to kill Bob now, because with level 6 on Sapphire, any kind of shackles is going to be.
Here they are.
Wow.
You don't get to win. I get to win.
Whew. That's big.
Gotcha.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
For my coffers.
Oh, he's throwing the... Yeah. Oh, he's just like... So good.
Denied!
Reminds me of like Gran Torino. Get off my lawn, you know. He's just like, get out of my jungle. Yopaj doesn't want anything to do with this Ench coming to... He's just like, come on, get away from my lane. This is not where you belong.
Illusion.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it feels good. You kill the gyro there. I think if Lina makes that rotation just for support, not ideal. But with DK close to level 6-2, they'd love to get this tower. Unfortunately, I think Shanks has just maybe been leeching a bit more XP than Tino would like, so that level 6 is not up just yet. Tino will get it and probably start poking at this tier 1 tower. But by then, gyro will be back. So imagine, yeah, Boom are looking to defend this tower.
มีนางแดงเราจะกินนางส้วงมีนางส้วงเราจะกินนางแดง
Well, EXECRATION at least threatened to poke at bottom. Timbersaw's been left completely alone up top. And with the Shaman sitting behind, like level 4, it's just about having the threat of these disables. No one can really easily defend this lane. So Palos is being forced back into the jungle. Does have the max tree grab, so he does farm very efficiently. And luckily for him, Boom hasn't scouted out any of these stacks that were...
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yep.
Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's the main difference here. But it's one of those things where he has more damage, like hero kill potential. So no one can defend this because with the shaman here, again, you're not level 6, but you've still got those disables. So anyone who comes to defend is probably just going to...
Dire's top tower.
They get the tier 1 tower, and we'll see where they go next. I think this is where it'd be great. Timber just wants to shove this lane out and then try and go into this jungle and steal it from Palos. The stacks have been farmed, but just taking some of these camps is going to be really nice for FBZ and also deny Tiny of a lot of farm. And if you want to make a play, this bot lane is, to me, 100% where it has to be. If you go elsewhere, there's that relocate threat. Well, it's actually not up yet. No level 6 here on Io, but like this Io Gyro are just the most exposed heroes on the map. But soon there's going to be this threat. You know, there's this Yopaj Snapfire. What? Boots of travel. Oh, he does. Okay, he still had it queued up in his quick buy, but.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
First item bots too, just TP. You boots of travel to onto your Io while he's relocating. That's the strat. Yeah.
Dire's structures are fortified.
There. Come.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, nicely done. I think, if anything, Boom maybe should have just let that tower go and taken mid, because they had Shaman and Snapfire just pushing mid with no one defending this tier 1 mid. Unfortunately, Shaman not level 6, where they would have dropped those wards and taken a free tier
Radiant's
1.
middle tower is under attack.
End result is every tower gets defended. Mid is being pressured again, but Yopaj has already rotated back, and without that dragon form, it doesn't really feel like EXECRATION can do a whole lot here to pressure, so kind of reset and go back to farm.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
EXECRATION will finally get this bottom tier 1 tower, but having
Radiant's
lost
bottom
top
tower
and mid in
has
the
fallen.
process and giving up a lot of farm, it's not going to feel the greatest. They're still very even on gold, less than 1k gold difference, so most of that comes down to how effectively Tiny's just been flash farming the jungle, just, you know, good farming. After getting solo killed, not solo kill,
Dire's
after dying in
middle
lane to
tower
the
is under
Timbersaw, yeah, it
attack.
was solo kill. He's just been on a farming spree. He's like, okay, you know,
Dire
put his
are
heads down
scanning.
and just been studying those jungle patterns and accelerating while Gyro's being pressured in his lane, so Tiny leading the farm charts.
Bounty.
That's one thing I feel like Boom have maybe over-prioritized Yopaj's game with their supports rotating mid, defending bottom also, I guess, and they haven't maybe prioritized shutting... Basically, they're trying to secure their own good games rather than stop Palos from having... I feel like this is very different to how they played against, like, Polaris, where, you know, they love to stack their Ancients, go greedy, play some Medusa, and it felt like Boom were playing this more fast-paced Dota. And with the Snapfire pick, I thought that was going to be the case here, but so far we're seeing a more passive early game from Boom. I think that will change fairly soon now that they're getting these level 6s. Looking up on 3 heroes, so they are looking to make these plays, but it does feel like they've given Palos a lot of room to farm on Tiny.
Forms of my life fade from memory.
I mean, that's honestly perfect for Execration. Your 5 position tanks the smoke rotation. Mortimer kisses get used. It was Arcane Rune. I think Yopaj probably hasn't hit them if not for the Arcane Rune. And yeah, everybody gets out while they farmed the Ancients and got out. So it's not like they even missed out on any farm there. Yeah. Looks like the Shadowblade's coming soon as well. So Shadowblade Tiny, I think at some point Palos may be saying like, yeah, he's not going to want to completely stop farming, but if there's a fight opportunity or a smoke play they want to go for, he's ready to get involved. The Shadowblade treads plus Echo Saber gives him some attack speed to do some good damage in a fight. They're smoking up. I mean, Hasted Lina is pretty freaking scary too. Really don't want to go in a Hood Timbersaw. Raindrops too. He's so tanky. They want to get this gyro ideally. Like they can get into the eye of gyro. The problem is they don't have much vision, so they can take a guess and a gamble that he's at the triangle. But similar to what happened to them, maybe you just run into a support or they're not there and you put yourself in a danger.
Can't outrun a wildfire.
Dire are scanning.
This is where you bring in the Tiny. He's going to be your tower hitter. It's an ink swell. Doesn't look like he'll connect though.
Radiant's inhibitor has been killed. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh no.
This'll sap some of this dark.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I at least initially it didn't look like it was like some huge dive. Like I see him catches out 2 Avatos, combos the Shaman. That's like all the lockdown at that point. There's no stuns at that point for him to deal with. The problem is, he still has to deal with all the slows and the kisses and all that just nuke damage from a Timbersaw. The Chakram slow was enough to basically punish it. So what looked like a pretty good way to start a fight for Execration. I think the issue was he just didn't have other heroes like diving in with him a bit. Like he needed the DK follow-up to stun somebody or just to help him retreat. But in the end, I think big picture wise, Execration happy to have taken that T1 tower, but they may lose more.
Heal us.
Whoa.
It's just not fair.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
Maybe Shaman was going to get there in time for a disable, but that was pretty sick. I don't know if that's intentional from Boom, but it almost looked like Yopaj was like trying to aggro it for that stomp. Yeah.
Illusion.
Yeah. That grudge match of sorts for Tino specifically, and what he can do. He's got that Blink Dagger up, and this is, I mean, a great Lina Tiny. I mean, particularly the Lina's game. Like, she's going to scale well. Outranging the Gyrocopter, good hero matchups. Find Shadow Shaman, not the dream kill to smoke into, but it's a kill nonetheless. And more than anything, it's just like getting map control over this bottom side of the map so they can keep farming, and they're pressuring a tier 2 tower. This is probably what they learned from mid lane, was like, okay, let's not go Shadow Blade behind and diving in. Let's just use our time to hit buildings if we push. You know, Tiny with tree grab, he melts
top
towers.
tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's not. Yeah, they're pretending that they're like sitting behind Tino bottom. Looks like Boom is aware, and they're not even gonna put. Sneaky little play. It just doesn't quite work. Boom seem to know what's going on, or they're just playing it safe. Because if they knew that had happened, they would be diving in mid. They'd go for these kills on Tino, on Bob, Shanks down bottom. But,
Bounty.
no, I missed that, but yeah, that's a good way to kind of know if you hit a hero in fog or something.
Double damage.
Same for Boom. They want to go for another round, but this is a two-man smoke. They've got the shard on the Snapfire. Just blink. Scatter Blast is there initiating, but yeah, they walk in a roach. Honestly, EXECRATION are playing their draft really. Everything EXECRATION have done this game has impressed me. And Boom, on the other hand, like as far as what you expect from Boom, you're expecting like more aggression, more playmaking. Particularly when you see a mid Snapfire for Yopaj. He's 3-0-1. Like, don't get me wrong, he's played this game well. He won his lane and has made some plays. He's mostly been killing this Enchantress or the supports, it feels like, but they're just giving EXECRATION a lot of room to get their farm on. And I'm a little worried. I feel like Boom's draft scales very well, and in a game where both teams are just farming away, if anything, I would favor EXECRATION here.
Fleet feet.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
BKB. Comes Tiny.
Better to burn out than fade away.
Ah, quit your belly aching.
That's hard.
Nature attend us. Death of a fawn.
Just, yeah, getting that initial kill on the DK, it feels like you mentioned how the Enchantress is close to the DK. It feels like this DK is a little underfarmed. Ideally, you want that BKB. If he has a BKB there, that fight goes so well for EXECRATION. They're not done though. FBZ maybe overstayed his welcome and gives EXECRATION a little freebie kill. It was a good fight for Boom, but FBZ stays too long, and the big thing is there, yeah, they just really kited and baited that Lina BKB. Pops it and then tries to re-engage in the fight, but once it wore off, Yopaj is more than happy to blink back into the fight for another Scatter Blast initiation.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay. Like they need a +1. Ooh, Yopaj. He needs to be careful. He doesn't have BKB himself.
Tower
So
is under attack.
he goes blinking it. I think they need to prioritize Yopaj more, especially if he's using this blink Scatter Blast to initiate. Because to do so, you put yourself in a very forward-facing position. So if that's DK being gone on, then Tiny needs to counter-initiate on the Snapfire, or vice versa. Like, DK needs to blink in and stun this Snapfire and punish Yopaj anytime he starts these fights. Because Yopaj 0 deaths. He's played very well. You know, gets his team into a really good spot with that last fight, but it's still an Execration farm late overall.
Dire are scanning.
Looks like they're giving this one up. They're not in position to defend. You see Execration are a little antsy. They're going to see Yopaj mid now, and they'll see here as top. So, Bob Shadowbladed up. Is he this IO? Don't think so. The Shadowblade's wearing off. Come boom. Lena does have boots of travel, so she can join up with her team. No BKB.
Where are you going?
Supplements.
Ooh. Tiny's in trouble. Yeah. Boom just did such a good job of splitting Execration up. Like, it's easy to walk away and be like, oh, you know, oh, they're not done. Tim's. He's blinking back in with a Hex. Does get hit by an LSA.
Come on, sprites.
But Boom have numbers. They're going to run them down here. They're overcommitting. Yep.
Hard enough for you.
These two ranged turrets. I think Boom just got a bit overconfident. They're like, oh, these heroes are dead. He's back in. Snipes the killer. Poor Vincenzo. This poor Grim. Feel bad. But yeah, I think the fight started with like Boom doing a really good job of splitting Execration up. Like once they got vision of the Tiny, Yopaj just like took him on a little ride away from the rest of the fight, which meant that because this DK doesn't have BK, he's got it now. He didn't for that fight. He just got chased down by a homing missile. Even with a blink away, they just kept chasing him because they know once that missile lands, he's a free kill, free BKB. Fights are going to look very different, I feel like, with this DK, BKB plus Shard. Tino getting these items a bit later than you'd like, but they're definitely game changers. There's a lot more damage output with the Shard, and the BKB just allows him to frontline and not just melt to this nuke damage. So, this end, I mean, you were talking a bit about getting a lot of farm. Do we see the Aghanim Scepter lyric? All right. I'm listening.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I love it. Yep. And like you can push yourself back to safety a bit too. It's like the heart. It's kind of like you have two Hurricane Pikes almost. The Sproink only pushes you back, but Palos is scouted up top. He's gonna have to bait a little bit. He's gonna melt fast.
My sprites are with us.
Flex. Oh no, BKB's wearing off.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yep.
Dire's top
Usually
tower
it's Tim's playing these, you know, sniper heroes. He plays these 4-position Mirazes up, but this time it's Yopaj sitting back and just death from above.
Dire's top tower
Tino pull
is
back.
under
This puts him in
attack.
a. So, they don't want to commit all these buybacks, and all started. Tiny didn't want to BKB just for like a homing missile coming in, and once he got hit by like the first stun, he just got chain stun down to like 20%. They're gonna try and hold.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They don't have the damage.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Oh, the creeps. The creeps. The Enchantress has dragged the creeps up top. There was an ogre that would drag the entire. They couldn't actually keep going high ground because of backdoor protection because Ench dragged the wave away. So nice little
Generation.
play there from Shanks, but see Boom just walk their way into the Roshan pit instead now. I mean, I feel like it. Looking at the heroes in the draft and their ability to scale, like it's pretty. It should be pretty even, or even Execration, like feeling slightly more comfy. But what we're actually seeing is just Boom pick and choose their fights better. Like the experience is showing, the decision making. They just recognizing when Execration are out of position, doing a really good job of like forcing some of these BKBs. It never feels like Execration's getting value from their BKBs. They're either using it to just run away and live, or they're popping it offensively and not doing damage during it. And that seems to me to be one of the bigger issues here, where Boom just is outplaying them, and Execration needs to find a way to be getting the jump themselves.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Double damage.
Radiant are scanning.
Yep. Get there. Smoke and jumping in would be nice. Yopaj is the dream target. Gets him before the BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He'll
attack.
still pop it. Right. Okay. Yeah. I've taken him out. There was a
Radiant's
very
middle
small
tower
window maybe
is
to
under attack.
BKB before that Dragon Tail hit. Ready for it. And that's, to me, that's the thing. Execration need to find a way to be the ones getting the jump, but not just the jump on this Timbersaw. Anyone but Timbersaw, and it feels like anytime they've made the smokes, FBZ's the guy that they either run into or accidentally like find them, not even accidentally, but like, you know, they go on him and the fight goes terribly. So they can prioritize these other targets. Io, Shaman. I mean, Yopaj is, I think, the dream target. But Io and the supports are also always great. Like this Shaman
Radiant's top
represents
tower is
basically
under
all
attack.
of their lockdown in a team.
I hope it was worth it.
Disengage there.
Dire
Serpentward's
are
definitely
scanning.
causing Lena some problems there, where you know, she gets BKB off, but usually you BKB and stand your ground and just attack. But with all the Serpentwards there, she kind of just had to
Radiant's
run
top
away and get
tower
out of
is
them.
under attack.
The team's just losing a support as Boom really look to try and press forward, play around this Aegis, which still has 2 minutes left on it. Execration got to toss back. They found FBZ. I don't know if this is the guy you want to find, though. It's going to BKB, though. God.
Those were some dangerous ricochets.
Burns, doesn't it?
Oh? No relocate. I killed a missile. They're getting the Io. BKB TP. Ooh, they couldn't quite jump down. They brought back Tiny. They want to push forward. This is Tiny, remember. This hero shreds through buildings. This may force some buybacks here. At the same time, EXECRATION may not want to like risk a high ground push, because if buybacks happen and your Tiny dies, you know, that's a dieback. It could be game over, but this... Yeah. What a move from them.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified.
This is...
Radiant's
They could get
middle
2
tower
lanes.
is under attack.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They may just go bottom.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Healing power.
Radiant's bottom tower is fallen.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
The tier 1 down.
Radiant's
Love
bottom
it.
barracks
Palos
has
gonna...
fallen.
Whoop, wrong hotkey. Pops the BKB instead of the Shadow Blade, I believe, but he's out nonetheless. That BKB, you know, Essence still works. It's down to 6 seconds, so not an issue. There's a DD rune spawn in top. They're smoking for it. Oh god, there's 2 alone. They just took it. They found bomb. Oh no. He's fast. This is... I thought EXECRATION may punish the Io Gyro there, but they just didn't have the numbers, and also like Ench was out of mana. They had a Tiny down bottom, so they probably just didn't feel confident knowing where Olafune was, because that was an opening for them to maybe punish, at least get the Io kill. They get to reset. I mean, why take chances? You just got 2 lanes of racks. Range rack's still standing mid, but that's whatever. The melee's the one that counts, and they've got this scary late game. Like, Lina is going to scale really well. Has the Skadi and is halfway to a Satanic. No, that's very true. And we talked a bit about Snapfire as a mid. This hero falls off, and speaking of falling off, he's going to fall 6 feet under. He's got a BKB, but with no TP, he made... Oh, he's got a Shadow Blade. No detection. I don't think they were expecting a Shadow Blade. That's a new little pickup. While a little fight's going mid. They go in on FBZ. Can he BKB? Doesn't need to just yet. Very split up fight. God, Skem's melting. Ooh.
Come on, sprites.
I don't know if they want to fight. Tiny no BKB though. Yeah, I think... Yep. Oh, okay. He's getting over faster with the Shadow Blade boots of travel. Cancelled. Yep, they'll tip him. And they've got more. Yopaj ran into him. Oh. No buybacks. They're just gonna go throne. It looks like they're drawing lines down. One's drawing lines down mid. Another's drawing lines down top. We'll see which one they go for. They don't. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They may just like go try find a bounty rune or something to get that. He's gonna have it before, like in maybe looks like 20 seconds. He'll have his buyback. So with the gold ticking. But yep. I mean, just take these outer towers so that if you win another, I mean, they may even have. They've got 40 seconds. They've got time to poke high ground or try and force buybacks. That's the thing. Even if you don't know if they have buybacks, forcing them out and maybe you lose a support on the retreat, like that's okay for EXECRATION.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I belong in the sky, and you belong in the ground.
And then there's still the mid racks, dude. There's 2 range racks. But I mean, Boom, very smart, I think, defense from them. They buy back with like 3 seconds left on Snapfire's respawn, knowing that if they wait, like, even if they waited like 1 or 2 more seconds, Execration may have disengaged. So they made sure they caught them, find those kills. It did cost them 2 buybacks. So it looks good killing Tiny Lena, the 2 enemy carries, but you're not, you know, it came at a cost. You're down 3 melee Raxes. You cost a couple of heroes now, don't have buyback to play around. The big thing is trying to get something in return here. They'd love to get a Roshan. I don't know if they want to go high. Like, they could threaten high ground here. They want to force buybacks. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. Got it. Yeah, they want to force these buybacks. Tiny doesn't have one. That's something they should know because of the cooldown. And Lena, they can force Lena's buyback and kill her. That's a win condition for Boom. Oh my god, he just melts.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, they want to force buybacks and then take Roshan, which will be up in 5 seconds. If Boom scout that one out. Oh no, he TPC. Roshan was just about to respawn. Could have killed it so fast with that DD. I don't even think Execration would have had a chance to respawn. The Ench is sending out the creep to go scout Roshan, but Tiny will respawn for this potential Rosh fight.
Money to burn.
Regeneration.
Both teams with a ward around that. One on the cliff, one next to the cliff. Enchantress, of course, are always able to enchant those creeps, send them out to get some vision team as well, so. Next Roshan unravels. They try to go on FBZ, but he gets to jump first on Vincenzo. Vincenzo's... Yeah, that's it. He just wants that D ward. Insta buyback.
What happened?
Skem. Oh no, that's a no buyback on Ench or Timber. Oh, the double toss. This game's over, maybe. Yeah. Do they go Roche? Looks like they want to play, like, maybe they're just like playing it safe. They know they can get Roche and still have like 30 seconds to just throw in them, so given the state. Yeah. Yeah, and it's also, the buybacks was Timber Rasta, so they don't know about Gyro's buyback status. So if they go for like this game-ending push, Gyro buys back, and let's say they don't get Roche, like that would be kind of bad for them. So they get Roshan, and then they also get a chance. They still have 40 seconds to do a push. We'll see if that's enough time. It should be. It feels like it might be close if Yopaj makes some crazy high ground defense plays, but I just don't think he can here. They're gonna get at least megas.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Whoa, Yopaj! Ooh. Almost solo kills Palos there. He doesn't have the Aegis.
I'm all shown up.
Dire victory.
Damn, this is their last life, you know. They have to win this series or they are guaranteed to be demoted, guaranteed to go down to Division 2, and they come out and make a big statement. They're playing from a LAN cafe today. I think their boot camp where they usually play had some power issues. They're getting that, you know, that computer cafe buff, as the SEA fans say. So, you know, taking game 1 off Boom, and that is a big shock to Boom, to everyone watching. The panel, everyone's just like, yeah, Boom's gonna win. It doesn't matter what the draft looks like. Like, they're just their team, and Creation played